So lately I've been looking around the other students' diets, and I've noticed that it's quite of a disaster because how they eat and how they eat like processed foods and intake of caffeine is way too high. And for a few years, for many years, I also had like the same diet as like them. But at one point, I kind of understood that this cannot be this cannot go like this because it has to change. So because the diet which we consume right now, for example, kind of cereals in the morning, way too much coffee and stuff like that, it's not really helping our brains, and it is definitely not helping our physique. So in order to make a aesthetic physique and prevent brain fog, I understood that I have to like completely change my diet and have to make a diet which is very simple, and and it's not that really boring, so you can eat the same food like daily and you wouldn't get bored. Yeah, sometimes you might get bored, so you can just kind of add, like for example, protein chocolate or something like that. But the key here is you have to keep your diet simple, and you have to really dial in for about what you're eating. You cannot be eating like processed foods or foods that contain a lot of sugar. And that's why I thought, why shouldn't I like just make a video about how I eat and how my diet looks like, is like which worked for me to build muscle and lose fat, plus while I was focusing for my exams. So first of all, I'm gonna show you what I eat in the breakfast. It's around 12 o'clock, or wait, yeah, 12:20, yeah. So I take first of all I take one weighing tool, and I take one bowl. For the breakfast I will put I will eat oatmeal, which consists of 150 grams of oats and one scoop whey isolate plus milk. But before showing you that, I will just show you what I mostly have in my refrigerator. That's most important is like yogurt, then milk, and what do we have more? Some veggies. I'm not really a vegetables guy, and here we have some nuts and oats and the protein powder. Yeah, that's it. That's mostly it. And in the dinner I will eat some boiled eggs. Yeah, so here we go. I'm struggling a bit with the camera. So here you have here you can just put like 150 grams of oats. Yeah. Then put 1 scoop of whey isolate. that was, yeah. And now I will just mix it up. And in that I will just pour some milk. You can also add like yogurt in this, but first you will have to pour some little bit of milk so that it's completely, so that oats can completely soak the milk and it will just taste a bit better. And before you start eating, you would like to let it leave. You will just have to leave it for 5 minutes so that oats can completely soak the milk. And that's it. That's a breakfast. You can also add some toppings like for example banana or something, or maybe some nuts. And that's completely up to you how you want to have it. Yeah. And I usually get a zero sugar, what do you call it, muesli, and I pour like around 30 to 20 grams of it to get some dried fruits out of it, and this just makes it taste delicious. So yeah, you can also do that. You can also add some peanut butter or maybe some honey if you want some more, bit more sweet in it, or maybe even dark chocolate. That's completely up to you. So that's the breakfast. And the key here is that you keep the diet as simple as possible so that you can eat it regularly without wasting much time. As being a student, I know how difficult it is to get the time after learning to create like the meals, and that's why I try to keep everything like completely simple. For example, in lunch I soak like around 200 grams of yellow lentils overnight. You can also soak it for 2 hours, for at least 2 hours, so that the yellow lentils can absorb the water and be a bit more softer, so that you can mash it and then make pancakes out of it. I can also show you how I make it, and you can also add salt in it, if salt or some other peppers, to make it taste better, or maybe some vegetables. As I live with my parents, and as we are Indians, you usually cook like some kind of dal or sabji, that's like curry, and I just eat it like bread. The yellow lentils pancakes, I make them and eat as like likewise rotis. I don't know if you all know that, but I can also show you that later. But that's for the breakfast. You have oatmeal. As I said, you can also add some toppings to make it more fruitful or delicious. Yo, and I will see you on the lunch in the lunch.